Hey there, WIN community. We're back again. I know this week earlier I did another community to community collaboration, but we're back again for another one of those. And this time it is with Rosa Mara, who is the head of Queens of the Roundtable. So, Rose, I'm going to pass the mic to you to do your intro and give them a little overview of the Queens.
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Rosa Mara. I am the sales manager for a mortgage company, Loan Depot. We are the largest non-bank bank in the United States. But I've been in the financial service industry for over 35 years. And about 2 years ago, post-COVID, I decided to form a group called the Queens of the Round Table. It is a networking group. However, it is also a mission statement. It's a group that we're here to support women in business. Women, us as women, we've only been in the workforce for 60 years. So we, as nurturers, that's who we are as women. We are mothers. We are wives. And now we're thrown into the workforce
We play
without
many
having.
roles, right?
Yes. Oh my goodness, the caps that we have to wear. And that's our best, that's our strongest, the strongest thing about us is as women, again, we're nurturers, we wear so many caps. We don't give ourselves enough credit for being able to juggle all these caps. So when I formed the Queen of the Round Table, I had just come out of COVID. It was chaotic because now we're all working from home and I'm in sales. I needed to be in the workforce. And then I realized that it was all the mindset. What we need help as women. We need to know, we didn't have many options being in the work industry for 80 years. So we've all been, or I should say, I have been in a fight or flight mode. My mindset was, all right, let's just get it done. Always trying to get myself out of whatever I was in. And I then decided that we need to support each other. Women need the support. And not only the support, is how do we do things? How do we approach our job? Or how can we get our mindset
I
in,
was just going to say that, yeah, our
right?
mindset wrapped around, and mindset affects so many areas of a person's,
Oh
personal
my
and
goodness.
professional development.
Absolutely. Mindset can either catapult you to the next level as a wife, as a mother, as a business person, and as a friend. It is all the mindset approach. And in business, we have to have a certain mindset where, as nurturers, we tend to care too much sometimes. And right? We wind up saying, okay, well, I have to cook. It's a nurturing responsibility. And you're
Yeah, and
feeding
we
your
we
family.
don't stop and necessarily think of our own self-care. So that I
That's
think
right.
that's why having the communities and having WIN and Queens of the Round Table, we can collaborate on a lot of endeavors, including for those of you who aren't aware, WIN is a nonprofit. We have programs. I'm the programs manager, but we also have projects. And one of those projects in particular that we're really pushing out this year is the Healthy Horizon Project. And that
Mhm.
includes all encompasses for women's health. And that's one of the reasons I think collaborating with the Queens is going to be very beneficial for all of our members.
Absolutely. And it is collaboration. It is the Queens of the Round Table. The crown represents a mindset of, I am thinking of myself, but another woman will help another woman if they're crown or a supporting role. So that's the, we have to look at ourselves that we can just do it. But how do you do it? What is the mindset approach to increasing your business? The mindset needs to start with yourself. What do you want to do? What do you like doing? And then rely on the group sharing your ups and your downs. You know, and I want to build this community of women supporting other women. Hey, I just tried this technique and it worked. And again, by sharing, you are now exposed to another woman trying something that you may not have thought that you had the ability to do it with by yourself. But as a community, that's how we as women started. We were the nurturers. We were the ones when the cavemen were out hunting. Cavemen lived in a fight or flight. It's either eat or be eaten. Well, we as women were the ones that had to figure out how to cook the food. How do we then take care of our family? And that is our strength. And by building this community of women supporting women, we are now back in a time where that's how it was done. It takes a village. We are the village. How, and I can help anybody who is in the mortgage industry or in sales. I, right out of college, I went right to Wall Street. And in the late 80s and in the early 90s, that's what everybody was doing. Wall Street, Wall Street. But in hindsight, now I could see where the type of person that I am, I like to care for people. I like to nurture. I am somebody who thrives off of that growth. You either have a growth mindset, which is a mindset where you want to get to the next level, you want the support. And again, it's not just about business, it's about everything in life. Wouldn't you want to have um, an environment where you feel comfortable, you can let your hair down, and you could share openly without being criticized? That's what we're trying to do. I want to help on all aspects, health. I want to be part of any type of growth that we as women can help each other achieve. And I'm happy. I am happy that this is really taking off. I see the strength that we have as women, and I'm happy to see this all growing. And we get to share. Let your hair down. Look, I'm me. Be you. And I am happy to be able to be me without having to worry about, oh my God, is my grammar correct? Do I have to do a video? Do whatever makes you comfortable. And if you want to try something new, just do it. You have a support group of other women who will encourage and support that growth. And as we are these community Zoom meetings and these chats, I want to be able to say, okay, anybody, any questions? What industry are you in? Do you want help? Or one of our queens of the round table, there's three queens that, again, it's a round table. Everybody's equal. This was an idea that I had, but I couldn't get it to this point unless I have a therapist. We have a certified therapist who is going to explain mindset, explain how the brain is affected by actions.
Yes, and I actually attended Rose's first event for 2025, and it was very interesting to learn a lot of the different capacities the brain has from the therapist. And it was very intriguing. Rose printed out handouts to make everything clearer, easier to follow along with the presentation. So, if you are interested in learning more about that aspect of yourself, and just getting more in tune this year. I definitely
Mhm.
recommend this because Rose not only has in-person events, but she, I believe, is also going to start some virtual events too with the Queens,
Yep.
right?
We're going to have our, we host the in person events at yesterday's. In the winter time, it's kind of more difficult. We would like to do them at least every quarter, hopefully getting to every month. But we are going to be doing a lot of Zoom meetings because it's important to be there. And everybody, I don't want it to be a month where nobody's asking questions. I want it to be interactive. You know, it's all the mind, body, and soul approach. If you sit down and think about, if you don't have balance, everything is balance. And that applies to everything in life, except for we don't introduce that into our business life. We don't realize how important it is to have balance in business. But it all starts with you getting to know who you are. And this is a group that every single, I promise you, every Zoom and every in-person meeting, you'll be learning something new about yourself, about your mind, about how, and you'll have that aha moment that I did. Oh my God, it's that simple, or it's just a mindset approach. And when you apply it, it works. But you have to start with being aware. You have to want to, you have to be open up enough to say, okay, let me try something different. Let me explore the opportunity. But we have professionals. You have a therapist who can answer all the questions. I don't want to go in depth, but our past experiences, I refer to them as traumas, and a trauma does not have to be um, physical. A trauma is a negative experience that just carries with you, and it's in the front, it's in the top of your mind, and you don't realize it. So that's what we're trying to bring the awareness to everybody, that the amygdala, the brain, is what is can be changed. Your thought patterns can be changed, but you will learn that with every one of our Zoom meetings. You'll have Dr. Thornton. She has a ministry, and she's also a retired um, attorney, environmental attorney. She's also a professor at school, at a college. And our therapist is, she focuses on cognitive behavioral therapy and neuropsychology. That is the neuropsychologists with the think tanks, all these major
It,
think tanks.
it was very interesting too. I couldn't think of the word, so I'm glad that glad that you said it, Rose, because
Yeah.
that was the word that was like at the tip of my tongue, and I'm like, what is it? What is it? But I just kept going. So yeah, I mean,
Neuropsychology.
yeah, if anybody does want to learn more, I will drop, Rose's Facebook group for the
Mhm.
Queens of the Round Table down in the comment section after, because that's the first step in getting involved and
Mhm.
seeing when the events are. And I also want to thank Rose because she is one of the sponsors for the next New Jersey chapter WIN meetup, which is in March. And if you are in the Jersey hub, come and you can be able to meet Rose in person, get to know her and her group more as well. So I just wanted to
Thank
throw
you,
that out there to
Sarah.
you. You're welcome.
What I would like to say is our next meeting, which is a Zoom, is all focused on love for
Yeah,
Valentine's
for
Day.
Valentine's Day.
Yes, it is love. And love is one of the most important emotions that can, if used incorrectly, again, it sounds, it love, there's five emotions, there's five phases of love. And the first phase is what's called agape love, where we, and this is where most women fall into, that unconditional love, that love for a child or where you do something unconditionally, you don't expect anything in return. Unfortunately, that was a what I was stuck in. I applied that same love to my business. Why wouldn't people want me to love them as much and care as much? What I failed to realize is an unconditional love that you are applying towards your business means that you are now, it's unconditional. You're doing it because you have nothing attached to it. Well, that's not a business transaction. A business transaction, you have to apply the correct love, which is what we will be discussing in our next Zoom. And that love has conditions. You cannot execute a my business sales, for example, unless the borrower does their part in my transaction. I'm not going to close it. But if I apply now an unconditional love, I got you, I'll take care of you, then the consumer now feels that, well, I'm out. I don't, I have no longer have responsibilities. So it's applying the correct love to whatever transaction, which is what we will, and again, expecting, setting boundaries, and just applying this basic awareness is what we're going to be teaching, or we're going to be explaining, and how the brain functions. And that's why I have two other professionals in that industry. I could tell you from my personal experience how it has helped me in business. Last year was a very tough year for the mortgage and real estate industry, and I bucked the trend by 44%. And the only thing I did was apply the correct mindset. And I had a big presentation just a week ago, and everybody was questioning me, well, how did you have, and what they expected was that I used more of the corporate tools, that I did something different. I did something different in my mind, not on paper. So now, once I apply all the bells and whistles and all the, well, what Sarah would know, my weak strength is technology. I am
Yeah,
57
but
years old.
you still did a great job creating that presentation in Canva for everybody. So don't, forget that.
Well, I am trying, and that's the mindset approach. In the past, I would say, no, I can't do it. I'm afraid. I
Mhm.
don't like to be on video. And by, again, I personally, if you don't mind me sharing this, Sarah, I hired Sarah knowing my weak point, that my weakness, and it was Sarah's support and her positivity. She never once made me feel inferior. And that, and again, I don't mean to say inferior or made me feel as if I couldn't do it. That's the point. And Sarah's support and that positive mindset, which is what I'm trying to drill into everybody's head, that positive mindset gave me enough confidence to say, I will take this at my own pace. And I did. I did create that Canva. It's
And
taken
and
me a
you
long time.
and you did learn a lot with Facebook. I mean, I remember
Oh,
even your son said it.
uh-huh. I did. I'm learning, and I am now time blocking, and I am incorporating, since I've decided to take baby steps. I incorporate 1 hour a day to check my Facebook or whatever, to do a new post or a new flyer. So I am taking that baby step approach. But in the past, I would go all in, do it, do it, do it. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, I know I can't do it. So that failure carries over to my business. And that's the mindset approach. Do what you can do. Don't try to chew more. Do not set the correct expectations. And you have the support. Build that support. This is what we're about. We're women. We are all, the purpose of being on social media so we can talk after and say, hey, I'm in this business. I need this help. Or the therapist, you could directly ask a question that is in your personal life, because this is all shared experiences. It is only through shared experiences that we as women, in my opinion, could grow. I need to
I
know.
agree with that. I agree with that
Right.
completely. And this is one of the big reasons I wanted to do the community collaboration, because at our core, at our mission, Win and the Queens is very much aligned. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that alone was the first step into it. But we are all out there to help support women in various areas, from their mindset to their entrepreneurial journey to if they need help with marketing, business, etc.,
Yes.
technology.
We're the thinkers. We are, if again, I am only repeating what I've learned because I am not a therapist whatsoever, but I am aware. And I always place myself in a situation where I need to know the answer. What I understand is the male psyche, and we're going back to the beginning, they're opportunistic. Again, fight or flight, eat or be eaten. So we have been bred, I mean, in our genetic makeup is a creative mindfulness. How could we do? How can we execute as opposed to fight or flight? So that is our strength. Now that we have the opportunity to reach so many people, this is what makes me happy. Let your hair down. Be you. That's the best thing I could say to make you happy. Be comfortable in your own skin. And I'm sorry, but I've always been in a male dominated industry. I started Wall Street in 1990, where it was like, you're a woman. I don't care what degrees you have. You're not going to be in the good old boys club selling stocks and bonds. What? What do you mean I can't? And sure enough, I did not realize that I clawed my way. And it is my tenacity that got me to where I am today. But I still couldn't figure it out because I didn't have the mindset approach. I did not, I was always in a fight or flight. I'm going to just do it. How many women are in a male dominated industry that are successful just because a man said we can't do it? I'm sure this, I know
Yeah,
I
that
was.
that challenge can definitely do it.
Right, right. So now what we have to do is it's a mindset approach. Instead of thinking about fight or not fight or flight, I'm sorry, fake it till you make it, which
Yes,
is
yes.
mm,
I can't
fake
tell
it
you
till
how
you
many
make
times
it.
I've heard that term.
Yes, but you know what? That's what we are as women. And again, I couldn't understand that because I'm like, fake it till you make it is negative. That means you're faking it. You don't know what you're doing. No, and on the contrary, I think it's positive. It reminds me of the Nike commercial. Just do it. That's what faking till you make it. So now, if you have that mindset of, I'm not really faking it, I have the strength to survive on my own. If I now had somebody who could help lead me or guide me or give me some options, show me how to be a better salesperson, then that's where the success, and that's what I was missing. I knew that I'm going to do it no matter what. I will try anything. I will do anything except for we as women, especially in a male dominated industry, are all right, you figure it out on your own. No, no, you don't have the support, or you don't have, oh, you're too emotional. Oh my goodness, too emotional. That's what I heard all my life. Rose, you care too much. You have to spend less time. I'll give you a perfect example, if I may. Um, I worked for a prior company where I was branch manager and I had a big team. And I bought my first house at 21 by myself, couldn't afford it. I don't know what I was thinking, but I did it. And in order to pay my mortgage, I went to a vocational school and I got my cosmetology license. I did it in New York anyway. I always did nails. So I had the license. It helped me for at least a decade. I no longer do nails, but I always wanted to keep that practice going. So some of the girls in my office, some of my employees wanted me to do their nails. And in my mind, I was like, okay, I'm keeping my craft up after hours. Well, the men in my office were like, well, that's why you're not, or that's why you aren't a $2 million a year producer, because you're doing somebody else's nails. And what does that have to do with the price of eggs? I shouldn't have said that right now, but
We'll digress.
we'll digress. But it was that mindset. I personally care. And if it's my time, who are you to say that it's because I care too much, or I'm always bringing food? I love to cook. That's another thing about me. I love to cook. I would experiment and bring leftovers. You're cooking too much. So that was another, in my mind, a hurdle where I am tired of men telling me that it's emotions. We're too emotional as women. That's our
Well,
strength.
that's why we need
This
supportive
community.
supportive men around us, because the supportive men will help uplift us and make
Yes,
us feel, that we can do it, and they'll be there along our journey as well. And then we
absolutely.
get the same in return.
Absolutely. And it's I haven't, my husband is, oh my God, he's a diamond in the rough because he's so easygoing. And I mean, that's what I needed, because I'm the one who's like, gonna chat and go, how about this idea? How about that idea? How about this? And my husband's so patient, and all he did was support me. He wants, he sees that this is where I need to be, in a more of a supportive role. I want to help women. I'm 57 years old. Everybody, I've been through ups and downs and business up, business down. But 35 years, I've worked in a male dominated industry. And from a sales perspective, it could either catapult you to the next level, or it could make you feel less than who you are. And you may not get to those goal levels. So that's where I want to be able to help share my experience, why, how I was able to buck the trend, and how my business is, and my relationships with everybody. I'm patient now. I am completely patient. I mean, I have little,
I always thought you
well,
were patient, but that's I don't know why you say that, but I always think you're patient.
I am, but it was that inner head mind space where everything, I wasn't patient with myself.
Mm,
That's what I didn't have patience. I would give up too easily. I mean,
I gotcha.
I found myself just giving up, and avoidance conflict. That is another. When you hear the therapist and you hear Dr. Rita speak, it's just all of a sudden everything makes sense. Ah, that's why I do that. Oh, I didn't realize I was conflict avoidance. You know, we're women. How many of us have bought a pair of shoes and love the shoes? Like, they fit the best. My outfit is perfect, and we're wearing those shoes, and it's like, oh, my feet are killing me. My feet are killing me. I can't wear these shoes again. And we throw them in the closet, and then we're wearing a similar outfit that those shoes match, and we're still wearing them. That's the conflict avoidance. We know that these shoes are going to hurt, but because we still wear them, we
Well,
are justifying
shoes
bad
is a great
behavior.
analogy, because I think shoes, coffee, and chocolate, all women can relate to.
That's what I'm saying. That's, and this group started, or this mission started, because I was lost. I felt like I needed my fellow sisters, um, to get me out of this COVID. COVID is what threw me into, oh my God, life stopped. I can't now go out and do my job. I now have to work home. I had to bring my whole office at home. And it was a blessing and a curse at the same time. It caused so much havoc in my life, in my personal life, and in my business life. Sarah, I had my whole office in my house, 10 people coming in at 7 o'clock in the morning. I was still in my pajamas some days. And I'm like, this was a year. And I'm like, okay, I'm going crazy. I need my separation of house, my life, my friends. It threw me into a world of everything was smushed into one. I had no identity. And I'm sure a lot of other people feel that way, especially,
Yes.
I never worked from home. I wasn't used to that.
I'm actually used to it, so it didn't bother me, to be honest with you.
I can't, 35 years. It's, being in sales, you're always on the road. And most people that are in sales have a big personality. So you're now taking this, like, I felt like a tiger in a cage. It's like, give me, oh, I want to go out. So that type of negativeness, because to me it was all negativity, led me to therapy, where a friend of mine who was a colleague said, just talk to a therapist. You know, maybe it'll help you understand why you're doing this. And that's what I did not have, is that awareness. It happened so quickly. COVID happened overnight. And we didn't have a chance, or I didn't have a chance to digest this. We never lived in a world where it's like, oh, all of a sudden a pandemic could shut the government down. Who would have thought this would have ever happened? So through therapy, I had my aha moment and said, if it could help me, then this is what we need. I saw my therapist as a sister who was just answering questions that I had, or putting thoughts in my mind to bed, to rest. All right, you're overthinking this, or you're overanalyzing, or panic is, it is emotions is the key to our life as women. Having the right emotion attached to your business transaction. You love your husband a lot different than you love your son or your daughter. Not that you love anyone any less, or it's a different type of love. And it's that awareness that has helped me be a better mother. And it's through shared experiences as we grow and we meet. We all talk about this. Helped me with my son who was going through COVID as a 17-year-old. It helped me in my marriage because my husband was like, oh, this is work all day long. You got people in here from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And on the weekends, I was exhausted. So I gave up on all other aspects of my life. I made sacrifices when I didn't have to, when I just became aware that, okay, I need to do what makes me happy and what helps my family and helps everybody else. Slow down, Rose. Mentally slow down. I had no mental patience whatsoever. Now I do. I see the positivity has helped me. And I want to share. And I want to help everybody grow.
Well, I appreciate that, Rose, and I want to thank you for taking time out
Oh,
and
you're
coming
welcome.
to talk to the WIN community and everyone. I did drop the link to Rose's Facebook group, and I had it, showing up on the live here itself, but it's also in the comments if you're in any of the WIN groups or WIN chapter groups. I also have to go and drop it on LinkedIn if you're viewing us on LinkedIn, but it is there. If you want to become a member, just go there. And I will just say, from a social media standpoint, make sure you fill out any questions when you're joining a group. This way people know that you are a real person and not a bot. So just make sure you do that as an FYI. And yes, like I said, Rose is our sponsor. So New Jersey Hub, come out and get acquainted with her. Rose, we actually have a few real estate people coming I want to introduce you to as a side note. But thank you again. And I look forward to us collaborating with the Healthy Horizons project.
My
So
pleasure. And I hope to see everybody at the Queens. You pop in on a Zoom. You don't have to if you don't want to share your photo. I want everybody to be you, experience it, and see if it helps.
yes, I agree with that. All right, Win community, we will see you again. I have someone else coming on with me next week for the Healthy Horizons project as well. Her name is Linda, but I'm not going to give you all the details now. You'll have to tune in when we have it live. All right, bye everybody.
Bye.